The Mario Maker Trilogy is actually pretty important to me. All the way back in 2020 during the pandemic, I remember coming across a video of EVW playing Mario Maker 2 on his second channel. I think I still remember the exact video. It was this one, Endless Easy, but if I touch a coin I restart. I saw that video and got completely sucked in. I watched so much Mario Maker stuff afterwards and just thinking to myself like, I really want to play this. So for my 11th birthday in 2020, I wished for a Switch and a copy of Mario Maker 2. Now, as of about a month ago, as of writing the script, I have gone pretty much full circle of having obtained a physical copy of every game in the trilogy. Anyways, back to 2020, the following year or so I ended up making pretty much 40 entire levels in Mario Maker 2, 26 of which working together to form a super world. Maker ID in the description if anyone wants to play them. I would really like to showcase them one day, since I'm actually pretty proud of what I made. I think they're pretty solid levels, especially for having been made by an 11-year-old. Anyways, after I finished my Super World, I took a bit of a break from the game and Mario games as a whole, because from the time frame of my birthday in 2020 to my birthday in 2021, I was in my Mario phase for sure. That phase ended pretty much when I discovered Plants vs. Zombies. That's also when I started making Let's Play videos on YouTube back in August of 2021. Then in Christmas in that same year, I got a physical copy of the game that basically made my channel, Miitopia. Pretty much right after Christmas, my family and I went to my grandparents' house to spend some time with relatives. On the second day of our visit, we decided to hop on over to my cousin's house, who was 6 at the time. Her mom comes up to me and says, "Hey, so your cousin got gifted like a 2DS XL from her cousin and some games. Can you help with such and such?" One of the games that she had on that 2DS was Mario Maker for 3DS. Along with that, she also had the welcome version of Tamagotchi Life on that DS. I helped with the such and such, I don't even remember what it was, and then proceed to play games on that 2DS for the entire rest of the day. At the end of said day, I told my parents, like, I want one of those. So in July of 2022, I bought a modded 3DS XL, which is still alive and kicking to this day. And on the 3DS, I modded Tamagotchi Life, Tamagotchi Collection, 3DS Miitopia, all games that I've talked about on this channel for quite a while. Now, the final piece of the puzzle was Mario Maker 1. Someday in early July of this year, I was in a call with 2 of my close buddies, Pokebro60 and Ivy Skeg, and we were talking about Nintendo games and Nintendo consoles. At some point, Ivy tells us about his Nintendo consoles that he has, which were a Wii and a Wii U. Now, I had thought of getting a Wii for a while by that point, but never went through with it because I wouldn't have used it for much anyway. Out of curiosity, I went on the same website I bought my 3DS from to see for how much I could have bought a modded Wii U for, and I found people selling their Wii U's modded for 100 euros a pop, so naturally I just kind of bought one. Now, along with that, I had also bought a physical copy of Mario Maker for 3DS, you know, for collection's sake. Now, I had Mario Maker 2 on a Switch, Mario Maker 3DS on a 3DS, and a Wii U. All that was left was a physical copy of Mario Maker 1, so I ordered one, and on September 18th of this year, I completed the trilogy. These games mean quite a lot to me, because without them, I would not be here talking about Nintendo games on this channel. I know that was an insanely long intro, but I hope you're still willing to listen to me, so let's go on a ride throughout history as we discuss the Mario Maker trilogy and everything about it. Are you ready? Let's get started. Super Mario Maker released on the Wii U in 2015, and the entry I have the by far least experience with. Mario Maker 1 was honestly a big breakthrough when it first came out. People have been wanting to make their own Mario levels for forever, and Nintendo was in a really big rough patch. It being 2015 and the Wii U being in its, let's be honest, last year with good games, Nintendo was having a really hard time financially. And also in 2015 was Mario's 30th anniversary. So Nintendo released Mario Maker 1 for the 30th anniversary, and my god, this was a smart move. Mario Maker 1 pretty much entirely relies on old assets from old Mario games and, well, community activity. Even on a console that was doomed from the beginning, the original Mario Maker did so much for the Wii U, it is insane. It's one of the best-selling Wii U games and remained active until Nintendo killed off the uploading feature in 2021, 2 full years after Mario Maker 2 came out. It's safe to say had this game come out earlier and maybe on the Wii and DS, it would have sold and done like crazy. As it is, it was the absolute savior of the Wii U for that holiday season, along with Yoshi's Woolly World and Splatoon, which also came out that year. If there's anything it needed, it was more building tools, as the 60 provided, while enough for the time, became pretty limiting by 2018 and 2019. The community really did make this game. The amount of insanely well-made levels and amount of active creators for a Wii U game is low-key insane. And it's not it's not just level creators, as content creators who revolved around the game were also pretty plentiful. Either people that were playing the game like EVW, or teaching people insane building tricks like Steve Gaming. This game would have been said to live for a lot longer, but had it been on a more successful system and earlier on in said system's lifespan rather than at the very end. Now, when people usually talk about the Mario Maker games, they really only talk about 1 and 2, but there is a third game, and it's one of the oddest things I've ever seen. This game came out pretty early, only a year and 3 months after Mario Maker 1, and its purpose is rather confusing. Let's talk about it. Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS is just confusing. It added a single-player campaign of 100 Nintendo-made levels, and the levels from the Nintendo World Championship of 2015, but otherwise, besides that, the level creator was just Mario Maker 1 again, which is great and honestly works well with the 2 screens on the 3DS. On the online side though, they removed uploading and searching for levels. All you can do is play 100-man and recommended courses. This is just stupid. This game came out on December 1st, 2016, and if that doesn't trigger any alarm bells in your head, I'll explain why it should. Pretty much any game Nintendo made in 2016 was either a re-release, port, or was very simple and bare bones. The only original games that came out from 2016 that weren't shit that I can think of are Pokemon Sun and Moon and, in Japan, 3DS Miitopia. Besides that, we've got like Metroid Prime Federation Force and Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympics, and this having been probably made and released at the tail end of 2016, it's pretty apparent why it ditched these aspects. It was to cut costs and give 3DS owners something to buy one last Christmas before the Switch released. As a result, this went incredibly under the radar, and why wouldn't it? Without the ability to upload and search levels, it's pretty much worthless. Now, I've actually built a couple of levels on this version. They're all really basic and short, and they're all up on the Pretendo servers on the Wii U version if people want to play them. But yeah, this game had promise, but because of the circumstances around it, it probably ended up being one of the most half-baked games in Nintendo's catalog. Screw it, it's like 90% there. Just being able to upload and search for levels would have been enough to make this a worthy port of the original Mario Maker, and because the 3DS was more popular, it could have lived on longer. But as it is, it's a cool novelty, I guess, but nothing more. Mario Maker 2, baby. This game is pretty much a best of both worlds of Mario Maker 1 and 3DS. First of all, there's so many new building options, it's a bit overwhelming. Second of all, online multiplayer is super cool. I got to B rank in Versus, and besides that, when I did have Switch Online, I just played co-op since it's more fun. The Endless mode is a cool extension of 100-man, although 100-man is strangely absent. Would have been nice to have both, and that's honestly one of Maker 2's biggest flaws. Whatever. I got to 1,000 levels in both Endless, Easy, and Normal, and I am proud. The Mii outfits are neat. Some of the ones you get for the super hard achievements are really stupid, like the fucking Peas hair clip. I am Tomodachi Life pilled as heck, but yeah, nice customization. I'm honestly kind of struggling to say much about Maker 2. It's pretty much what Maker 1 could have been. More stuff to build with, online multiplayer, longer lifespan, all that stuff. Oh yeah, and story mode. Nothing much to say here, just a single player campaign that doesn't last more than like 10 hours or so. Yeah, Maker 2 is just cool. I'm sad that I can't say much more about it because everything that I can say about it I've already said about the other two, and the only really new stuff with it is the insane building techniques and setups and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna get into that in a video that's supposed to just like overview the trilogy. And that's the Mario Maker trilogy. I love each of these three games so much. I mean, whatever, less of the 3DS one because, yeah. Well, to me personally, the most important game of the trilogy is Maker 2. Mario Maker 1 laid the foundation for everything perfectly and beat the odds stacked against it from the beginning, and hell, even the 3DS game has its place in history. It seems Nintendo's making one Mario Maker game for every console they make, so whenever the Switch's successor comes out, I'll be looking forward to a Mario Maker 3, but right now, I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.